stuff doesn't fade. Like no one needs to tell them what their standard should be. That's just the way that they do things. What's really fascinating is like all of the pro athlete, whoever I work with, I can tell immediately. You know, it could be a big organization, it could be one or two people. Um, but here are some things that are always true. You tell me if you agree. In good environments, right? Healthy environments. The first thing is that problem reporters are always problems. Problem, right?
Okay. Uh, sh-
Problems, problem solvers, those are achievers. True or false?
well, no, sorry, I need to think this one for a second. Problem reporters always the problem causers, and problem solvers are the achievers. I would agree, not 100% of the time, but mostly. Yes, almost all the
Okay.
time. I think
In every like,
there are
yeah, go
exceptions
on.
though.
Yep. In most high performing environments, the people who are focused on telling others about problems or reasons why we can't, those people are typically the weaker members of the herd.
Because they're focused on the problems. That's where their minds
That's
are
right.
at. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Another one is that tough times don't last, tough people last.
Oh
Tough
wow,
times don't last, tough people last.
hell yeah, 100%.
Right? Yep. Um, Another one is that standards and expectations are not the same thing. So, like, best of the best, they deal in standards, they don't deal in expectations,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
Expectations is like if you go to a new job and the expectation of your boss is different, then you're gonna what perform less. Doesn't make sense. You need to set the standard.
Yep.
I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But so I think you'll like the next two is here. So and this is kind of where the it starts to shift that thoughts thoughts aren't facts. Thoughts are just thoughts. So it when we think something, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that it did happen. It doesn't mean that it might happen. Thoughts are just thoughts. So part of like a mindset shift for anything, any level of achievement is understanding that just because you think it, it doesn't mean that it's true. It's just a thought.
This one is a little bit puzzling. How people like I agree. So I agree with you 100%. Thoughts are just thoughts. Like you have intrusive thoughts all the time. You know, you pass a. I hear like, let's say you pass like there's a mom and there's a baby and you imagine like she's dropping the baby. It does not mean that you want the baby to be harmed, but your mind is going all the places all the time. What it does, it does not mean they're true. You know, thoughts are thoughts.
The
I agree with you 100%.
thought, thoughts are just thoughts, and I think the one that is probably the most um, under or misunderstood is that confidence is a choice. Confidence is not a feeling. Confidence is a choice.
Mm.
Confidence isn't just something that you feel. You can choose to be confident. You can choose um, to have belief. It's not just something that you hope happens.
Oh man, I would ask you. I would like to ask if you could elaborate on that one.
Yep. So here the two words I want you to consider is these words get confused a lot. Is the word belief and the word confidence. They are related, but they're not the same thing. Okay. So if you think about a tree outside, what you see above ground, the tree, that's confidence. What you don't see below ground, the roots, that's belief. So in that example of the tree, no roots, no tree. No belief, no confidence. So the easiest way to be confident is you tap into belief. I'll prove it to you. So you probably have, of all the episodes you've done, you probably have like one show maybe where it was like it was just perfect, or like you just loved it. Everything you did, it was like you got lots of views, you got lots of good comments on it. Like you were just feeling it. You don't have to tell me what it is, but do you have a thought like that?
Yeah.
And I bet you remember maybe who the guest was. You probably remember some specifics about it. Maybe you remember what shirt you were wearing or what day of the week it was, whatever it was. But when you think about that show, is that a good feeling or a bad feeling?
It's very good.
And it kind of like you feel it in your belly, right? Like it gets you going a little bit, like get you kind of excited, get you fired up.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what that feeling is called?
How?
That feeling is called confidence.
All right.
But the way we got there, and that took 10 seconds, we just tapped into a memory of when you have done it before. There's proof that built up your belief. I believe I can because I've done. And you spending 5 seconds thinking about that, that inner oomph that you felt, that energy, that man, I'm going to crush it, that feeling is confidence.
I'm pumped now. I'm fired up. Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Yeah. So those two things are, so where a lot of anybody, it could be a public speaker, it could be an athlete, whatever, they're always like, I want to feel confident, I want to work on confidence. My approach, and people like me, the way to do it is that you go through belief. Because imagine if I could take an athlete and I could say, okay, you can come up with a highlight reel in your brain, three or four maybe goals or something that you've done before. They remember where they were, the uniform, they remember people going nuts in the stands and everybody, high fiving them or her. And that feeling that they get, it's a good feeling. Like they get fired up. Well, that feeling is called confidence. So that's what I mean by confidence is a choice. It's not a feeling, it's something that can be built, grown, developed.
Wow. It's the first time I hear that. It's wonderful. I watched this TikTok the other day with the vocalist, the main singer from Metallica, the rock band, and the guy. I mean, they're not a new band, right? They've been around from for a while now, and he was like sitting outside of the stage before a show, having stage fright, having anxiety. It's like, bro, I still have it. Like he's doing that for so many years, and so from time to time he still lacks confidence. That's how I saw the whole thing, and it does that just makes me think how human that is, right? It can affect us no matter what. So would you say that in his case there's something wrong with his beliefs?
So I know the documentary that you're talking about, and first of all,
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny that right, that I'm not gonna ask you how old you are, but yes, Metallica's been around for a while. Great band, great band. Um, but like performance anxiety is a real thing. Nerves are okay. What has been said about this particular case that you're talking about, that we see a lot of times in athletes, is this: that sometimes it's very, very important that we really dig into what is it that we are really feeling, right? Because the body handles, if you're really, really nervous or you're really, really excited, physically, you have all of the same symptoms. Your legs get heavy, your palms sweat, your stomach's uncomfortable, right? It's like Christmas Eve. for so many people. That like excitement feeling is like the same sort of feeling a lot of people might get before they do something, but it's the brain that says one of them is excitement, the other one is nerves, so that must be bad. That anxiety or those thoughts, first off, it's totally normal. Nerves aren't bad. Another way to say nerves are it's mis it's mismanaged energy,
Mm.
or it's an emotion that, of course you're going to have an emotion because the event hasn't happened yet. But we don't have to necessarily take it 5 steps down the road and say, well, that emotion is negative. What if it's just excitement? What if it's just anticipation? We just label it, like we're so quick to say that's nerves, that's nerves, and all of a sudden it starts to snowball. Oh my god, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, I'm nervous. I would get anxiety too before I would go out and, play music for 80,000 people. But performance anxiety and nerves aren't necessarily the same thing.
Oh, okay. Performance and anxiety and nerves are not necessarily the same thing. Um, is there a way of getting? I don't want to say get rid of them because it sounds wrong,
Yep.
but redirecting those. You mentioned the word
Re-
energy there. Redirect this energy somewhere else.
Reframe.
Hmm.
Yep, that's a good word. Reframe, redirect. Again, I'm not diagnosing him with anything. There are some people that truly have fears, that are just life altering. For most performers, though, in this kind of case, who have things like this, yes, there are like breathing exercises, there are mantras, there are thought patterns, there's visualization, there's a whole bunch of things that can kind of get the brain away from there and move it somewhere else. And that really is kind of the thought that we're almost not really trying to push out what we don't want. We're trying to almost like fully embrace what we do want. So there are lots of things, lots of people, some of the best athletes that I know, very, very relevant people. One of them has significant performance anxiety, and this is a household name. Like people know who this person is. They would never know that, but they're like you said, they're humans. They're walking out, and there's 30,000 people screaming at them. Like, yeah, it's pretty normal. If you didn't have a reaction, I think it would be abnormal.
I think that's psychopaths, right? They have no. I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
right.
I don't know. Actually, I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
it. Um, but like what? Going back to the exercises, though. Did you say visualization? What was that one of the?
Visualization is one. Yep. Yep.
My question would be, how can you use your own brain to calm your own brain? How is that possible?
So that actually is a really, really good question. So if you think, do you know who Conor McGregor is? Conor McGregor?
The boxer, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, MMA. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh, the MMA, yeah.
So
Sorry.
yeah, 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 yep. Um, so like when he first